So it's just connecting.
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jana Nias, and I'm part of the Story Sessions team. Welcome to our very first Facebook Live. As the reality of the COVID-19 pandemic settles on our city, we are confronted with numerous extraordinary challenges and opportunities. The Story Sessions team believes that this is a particularly significant time for us in the writing of our collective story. How will this story read to future generations? With that being said, we do realize that the national lockdown and distancing from each other may bring a feeling of disconnection from the story of the city beyond our own walls, our friends, our families, and our immediate communities. So in the hope of creating a greater sense of connectedness and compassion with the various communities of people in our city we have engaged with over the last 2 or 3 years as Story Sessions, we are bringing you updates and stories on the current state of affairs through short Facebook Live sessions. Today, we are very privileged to have with us Tito Theogene Haguma, one of our previous guests on Story Sessions. Tito, it is so great to have you, and thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. Many of our audience members will know you, but for those who don't know you, please tell us a little bit about yourself as well as the work that you are doing.
Thank you, Yana. Thank you for having me this morning. Yes, as you said, my name's Theogene Haguma, and my nickname is Tito. I'm known as Tito. And I'm a husband to Lilian Haguma, and I have 4 lovely children. I serve God and people in 3C Church, Westville, and in different communities where I can reach. I work with Zoe Life as a social cohesion expert in a social cohesion project funded by United Nations High Commission for Refugees. That's Tito, and I'm staying in Durban for almost 20 years.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tito. Maybe for the audience members who are not familiar with the term social cohesion, can you maybe just explain a little bit about what that means?
Yes. First of all, just to explain what is social cohesion. Social cohesion is all about a willingness of members of a societies to cooperate together, work together each other in order to reach the goal that they have. So meaning that members share the community goal, common interests. There are a lot of indicators that show that the society is cohesively together. Like people, do they feel belonging to the community, or do people trust each other, or do they work together for common goal? Those are the signs that shows social cohesion in a community, in a certain community. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tito. Now, we are very curious to know how this work that you are doing with social cohesion, and especially in the refugee communities in our city, how this work has shifted or been shaped by the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown. What work is being done at the moment amongst and alongside the refugees or the refugee communities in our city?
Yeah, that's a very good question that you are asking me. And as I was saying, as a part of my work at Zoe Life, I go into different communities, running social cohesion dialogues, workshops with South African nations and refugees, asylum seekers from various countries of Africa. So I'm always on front line in areas of tensions and disunities. So this lockdown changed a lot of things, changed the way we were doing things, because in the beginning, I was worried about how to promote social cohesion and keeping social distance. It was something that was really worried me. But I noticed that social cohesion can increase due to different factors. A good example that I can give is if we go back to 2010. If we go back to 2010 during this the World Cup in South Africa, that's where you can see the beauty of multi-racial, multinational countries. So that's one of the factors of social cohesion, sport. But also, common enemy can help people to work together. We have a common enemy now, the COVID-19. So what do we see now outside here? We see people working together, fighting together against this disease. We see people helping each other. We see poor and vulnerable people being cared by communities. So this is a sign of social cohesion. We see government, private, and public sectors working.
Tito, I think we've lost you there for a moment. Are you still there? Seems we've lost Tito. I hope that he will come back just now. In the meantime, what I can do is just to share that we will have another Facebook Live session on Friday morning at 9:30. Vicky from our team will be interviewing Professor Monique Marks from the Urban Future Center at DUT, and they will be sharing stories on the work that's being done currently with people who are using drugs in the city. So we are looking forward to that session on Friday morning at 9:30. Let's see if we can get Tito back. It seems Tito is still not with us. Tito, are you there? It seems we have lost Tito. Okay. I think Tito is coming back to us now. Tito, can you hear us? You are back.
Yes, yes.
We lost
Yes.
you. It's good to have you back, Tito. You can just continue where you were, Tito, just explaining some of the ways in which your work has been shaped and shifted by this current pandemic.
I was just trying to explain that social cohesion can be can increase during a time like this where we all have common enemy, because we see people working together without any kind of discriminations. We see rich and poor working together. We see government, private and public sectors working together toward one goal in our society. So those are the signs of social cohesion. We see poor people, vulnerable people being catered. We see neighbors phoning each other, finding out how life is. How can I help? I have a neighbor of mine, he has a car. He just phoned people around and say, I'm going to do shopping. Can you send me? Because I'm going there. Can you, that's social cohesion, where people now trust each other. I trust somebody can hand my money, go and help. So that's what is happening. So I was saying in the beginning that I was confused that how are we going to promote social cohesion by keeping social distancing? But it's possible and it is working. Yeah, I think that's how our work is shaped, and yeah.
Okay,
that's
wonderful.
it. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Tito. I'm wondering if you have specific examples. You mentioned the example of the person using their car to go and do shopping for other people who don't have access to shopping centers or don't have it close by. I'm curious to know if there are other examples or stories that you can share with us.
So there are a lot of examples that I can share with you. First of all, I will start with the beginning of this coronavirus situation, where we had to translate a lot of pamphlet in different languages. So people were willing to help. Actually, at Zoe Life, that was one of our main work to do, because there were a lot of rumors, a lot of fake news that coronavirus is only for Europe and America, that black skin is resisting to coronavirus. Even some churches, there was some like this kind of teaching where like saying coronavirus is a punishment from God because of this and that. So we had to fight all those fake news. So the thing we did is to translate all this information into different languages. And people were willing. When we phone people, do you speak this language, Ethiopian language? Do you speak this? They were willing to say, please, I will help you to translate so that you can spread information to people. So everybody was keen to do something. And it went very well because we really fight those rumors through distributing pamphlet, through social medias, and everything. Yeah. So people were helping. Also, to come back to the question that you were asking me about some good examples, like I have this neighbor of mine, he has a car. Yeah, he's a Muslim guy, so he always phone Tito, do you have people around you who don't have cars who want to do shopping? Yeah, and I also ask, and some people will come up and say, yes, please, I'm staying here and I have money, I want to buy. So I gave this guy the address. He will go and pick the money and buy for them. So this is wonderful. Yeah, how people are helping each other. Mm. I also always see churches also taking initiative to help. Yeah. Yeah, I think
I'm just
yes.
curious to know, Tito, those languages that you translated the information to, what were some of the languages that you translated the information pamphlets to?
In the beginning, all the informations were only in English, and people who speak Zulus, they were complaining, special like people in the rural area who don't know maybe English. So our first language was to translate the pamphlet from English to Zulu, because majority of people in Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal, they speak Zulu. So that's our first language. So we did it at Zoe Life. We did it at 3C Church. Yeah, we translated that in Zulu. And also we look at refugees. You know, we work with refugees. So we have refugees who speak French. So we translated a lot of pamphlet in French. We did it in Swahili. We have a lot of people who speak Swahili. And in Lingala is one of the languages spoken in DRC, Congo, and DRC, Brazzaville there. And in Congo, Brazzaville, and Congo, Kinshasa. We translated in Kirundi and Kinyarwanda. Yeah, and we did it in with one pastor from Malawi in Kichewa. Yeah, in Kichewa, and the Kichewa people from Zambia speak Nyanja, and Nyanja is similar to Kichewa, so we did it in those languages. Yeah, and we translated in one of the Ethiopian language. Yes, so we did all those translations. Yeah,
I think I also saw one that was translated in Shona. Is that correct?
Yes, in Shona with one pastor from Shonas. Yes. Mm.
And so, if we do know people who might want to access those translated information pamphlets, how can they get access to those pamphlets?
So the only way is online. If we ask if they can visit our website, Zoe Life website, they may find translations there. Yeah, I'm sure that they may be available now. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much, Tito. Yeah. Now, I'm also aware of people in our audience being at home feeling quite disconnected from the story of our city. And I'm wondering if there are ways in which you can recommend people connecting the stories of who they are, what they can give, how they can show love at this time to the refugees in our city. Can you give us any practical advice or examples of how people can do this?
I think everyone has something to give. You may not have money, but you may have a time to give, to help others. Put in your mind that always keep distance in whatever you do, and make sure you're safe. But you can do something. I just want to give you a simple example of my landlord. Yeah, it's a man. It's in his 60s. Yeah, and he just saw what I'm doing in the community, and he saw that every day my wife goes to work. And this man phoned me and said, "Tito, please tell me, because I want to contribute something." And I say, "It's fine, you're welcome." And he say, "I will be, whenever you are on the field and your wife is at work, I will be cooking for you." So like 3 times a week, he organized supper for us. And when we come home around 6, 7, the food is ready. So it showed me that we can do anything, we can help, you know. So it's a very simple, good example that I can give, that everyone can contribute toward what is happening. Yeah.
That's
And coming back to the refugees, we must know the situation of these refugees in the city of Durban. Most of them live this kind of life of hands to mouth existence, you know. They have to go out and work to get food. If they are not out, they have nothing in the house. Some of them are cargers. A lot of women sell fruits on the street. So you can see, like, going outside with 20 or 50 orange fruit to sell so that he can buy meal to take home. So they have nothing at all at home. Actually, what's happening with me, when we finish to compile all the file, all the list for KZN, response team, and Red Cross, we send a file, we send a list, and we've been waiting for people to get their food, but it wasn't easy, because I understand how Red Cross is working. They have to deliver. So when I noticed that it's taking time for these people to get their food parcels, I had to go out and knock door to door. And I found good people. There's these ladies around the corner at Massgrave, that area.
Tito, are you still there? I think we've lost Tito again. For those of you who wanted the details of the KZN response team, we will make that available for you after the live session. We will post that on our Facebook page. If you want to make any donations towards the food parcels that are being donated at this time. I will see if we can get Tito back again online. If we can't get him back, I think we will have to just end our live session right there. It seems he is not back. So I think what I will say is thank you to Tito in his absence at the moment. And thank you to those of you who have tuned into Facebook Live, and to those of you who have told us that you will watch it later. Our next Facebook Live session, as I said, would be on Friday morning at 9:30, when Vicky from our team will be interviewing Prof. Monique Marks from the Urban Future Center at DUT to tell us a little bit more about the lockdown and the stories of people who are using drugs in our city at this point in time. Tito, are you back with us?
Yes. I'm so sorry. You know, we live in the mountains with a lot of trees. Yeah, sometimes the network goes. Yeah, but I'm back now. So I
Okay.
was. Can I continue where I was?
Yes, you can. I was saying that we will wrap up the session soon. I was already thanking you, but please just finish your last thought. It was important for people to hear your last thoughts.
So from Saturday, I remember I was sitting with my wife because I was receiving a lot of calls. People asking me when the food is coming, and most of them are these widows and orphans who have nothing at all. So I sat with my wife and say, you know what, we both need to go in front line now. You are in the hospital, but the community need me. What can we do? So we decided together that I must also go out and see how I can help people. So my first day out, it was Saturday, and I'm telling you what I saw was terrible. So this lady gave me food parcels for first. I started with a university student. We have a lot of single guys and ladies who stay alone in this small bachelor, and no one remember them. When we think about people, we think about people with big families, but there are a lot of single people who are alone in their houses and have nothing at all. They are not all refugees. I met even some local South Africans who came to study, but they can't access any money anyway. So I put food together because I'm not staying far from the university. I had to call them. They walk one by one, grab food from my home. And then after that, I got food from the same lady. And then I took the food to the different places in Durban with families with more than six members at home. And guess what? I went to this lady. She's a widow with six children. The husband died 3 months ago. When I gave her food, she started crying. She showed me her pot. All the pot were clean as a sign that there is no food at home. And I said, how were you surviving? Just show me small, like 2 kg of mini meal. Say we just mix in cold water and then we drink like porridge because they have no electricity. There's no electricities. So that's how I decided I would go out and help these people. So what I do, because all these people are still on the list waiting for Red Cross to give them food, but the Red Cross is all over. It can take 2, 3, 4 weeks to give them food. So what I did, I kept phoning people. Yesterday, there are these people who phoned me and said, Tito, we're going to buy food. Do you have a list? Yes, I have a list of Uber Eat drivers. You know, Uber Eat drivers are these guys who ride motorbike. Now all the shops are closed, so they are sitting home. So yesterday, I served Uber Eat drivers, refugees, and local people in the city of Durban. I still have a lot of list. Today, I got a list of all these
Seems we've lost. Tito, I think we've lost your audio. Can you hear us? I think we've lost your audio. We can't hear you. I'm not sure what happened. We lost your audio. It's okay. So Tito, I think we've lost your audio. So what I think is we're going to wrap up the session right now. We can't hear you. So I think we are going to wrap up the session. But what I am going to ask is that maybe you just provide us with a way in which people, if they would like to do any food donations, what the details would be of that. And we will just post it on our Facebook session. And Tito, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but I just want to say thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview for us. We are so thankful for your time. We are thankful for the work that you are doing amongst those who are very vulnerable at this point in time. Thank you to all of you who have logged into Facebook, who have watched this, who will be watching this afterwards. We are excited about our session on Friday morning at 9:30. We hope to see all of you watch that session with us as well. So thanks from all of us. And thank you, Tito, once again. I'm not sure if you can hear me. And stay safe and stay connected.